Hey guys, how you doing? It's Jason Ramos with Good Vibes Real Estate Solutions. Welcome to another episode of
Chat with Chatto. Welcome, another Wednesday. Haven't been able to get rid of Mr. Chris Amaro, so he's with us again for the third week in a row. Wearing the same clothes.
Same outfit.
3 times now.
3 in a row.
3.
No, we like having him around. He definitely brings a good vibe. Good vibes.
Good vibes.
No pun intended. So, cool.
Cool. So, Jay, what do you want to talk about this week?
All right, so we've sitting here discussing it, and basically we want to talk about that aha moment that made you want to get into the wholesaling business. All right, so that's what we're going to be talking about today, because that right there is the catalyst of what's going to propel you forward. So your aha moment has to be something that's beneficial, meaningful to you, and it's going to keep you going. So for me, it was September 2010. I was let go from my management job. Pretty good paying job at the communications company. And that day, when I went home, it was a long ride home, I made a promise to myself. I said, you know what? I will never, ever, ever, ever work for another company again a day in my life. And to this day, I never have. All right, I kept true to that promise. And that promise actually, got me through a lot of rough times. There were times where I didn't have money to put gas in the car. $20 was like a big deal. I remember one time I was at a group and there was a fundraiser. People were buying popcorn from one of the kids. I couldn't even afford a bag of popcorn. I was so embarrassed. But I was like, I'm not getting a job. So I busted my ass. I was on YouTube. I was doing course after course after course, learning this real estate thing because I knew that this thing will eventually take off. So I did what I had to do. I made it through, and I stuck with it. It was rough. So I stayed true to my word. So, and I'm never, ever, ever going to work for another company again. So that was my aha moment. Like, I said, I need to be an entrepreneur. I'm my own man. I'm unemployable. Like, any job that I go to, I don't care. And I got fired from every single job that I ever had in my life because I stopped caring. Once I stopped caring, I just shut down. So that's what happened to me. But that's my aha moment. That
cool.
I need to work for myself. What about you, man? I want to hear about yours.
So for me, as many of you guys know, my previous life was a full-time pharmacist. I was working overnight in the pharmacy, and I discovered iTunes. That's where it all started. I discovered iTunes. Oh, what's iTunes? Okay. Started typing real estate because I was already had a few rental properties. I'm like, okay, I didn't really see the link and how I can go from just rental properties, a couple rental properties, to making enough money to cover myself, with what I'm used to making. So anyway, I'm working in the pharmacy overnight, and you have to do the narcotic count. You got to count all the narcotics, make sure that you have the right amount in there. So I'm sitting there counting the narcotics. I found iTunes. So I put on a gentleman by the name of Sean Terry, Flip to Freedom. And I found his, so what I'm looking for, podcast. And I start listening to his podcast. So I'm sitting there counting, listening to him, and he's talking about how to fill out a contract. That was the first episode I was listening to, how to fill out a contract. And I was like, Like I know how to do this. Like, I don't need to know how to fill out a contract. I purchased properties, right? I know what I'm doing. But I was busy. So I just let it roll. And he got into his mindset piece. And it really was like, wow, that's pretty cool. He was talking about mindset and just like, I don't know exactly what the message was, but it caught me. And that got me to the point where, I want more. And I started listening to another podcast, another episode. Mind you, I'm working overnights. Right. So I had plenty of time to listen while I'm working. So I started listening to it, and finally it clicked. Finally, after probably 3-4 months of listening to it over and over again, it clicked. And what it was I'm like, I can wholesale. I can wholesale property and make money, and that's enough money to fund my lifestyle, and then I'll be the one finding the cool deals for myself. And I'll be getting I'll be able to buy more properties, and I'll be able to make the money. And just that right there was like a click. It was just like, wow. And then it took me probably from that point another 6 months to a year before I had enough faith that I could do it. I think it was really right after, once we got our first paycheck,
Right.
you know, during that time I found Jason and we started doing it. And once I got that first paycheck, even though it was a small paycheck, it happened. It was real.
Right.
Like,
It was real.
man, now I have a skill that I possess where I can go out and make money if I need to go out and make money. So I now no longer need the crutch of the W-2 job. And I was able to drop that crutch, walk away from it, and it's been 7 years now or whatever, 2011 I think, somewhere in 2011, I think it was October 2011, and I haven't had a full-time job since. I haven't worked, you know, full-time since then, right? So it's
No,
like,
it's 2013.
was it 13? I don't know, I
13.
lose track of time.
Yeah,
Okay.
2013.
But, yeah, since then, it's like I have not, you know, I found a skill that I could do. So that was the mindset shift for me, to switch from I only want to find passive income to I only want to, you know, I'm willing to work for now money via wholesaling.
Right.
And it's funny because, as I said in a video or two ago, I'm kind of switching back the other way because I'm looking back, I'm like, wow, what if I bought all those properties? Look at the cash flow I'd have now. You know, and now luckily I'm in a position where I can now start focusing on getting those cash flow properties. So that for me was a big, how do I do it? So,
Yeah.
I'm going to pass it along to my man,
Howdy.
Haladala.
There's several from
Amaro.
this year, if that's okay to mention.
Yes.
Aha moment.
Aha.
One of the big ones, I actually had several from this guy who does 8 figures worth of business. You guys know him.
Yes.
And something he actually mentioned was a story. And the story was on, man, how'd you get such an attractive, beautiful wife, right? Because you're, you know, bless your heart. And the thing is, what he said to me was this: oh, well, I only dated the pretty girls. I only asked them out because, well, all the other guys were so nervous and shy. I was like, screw it, it's a numbers game. And that's how I only dated the prettiest girls. And I was like, wait a minute, that correlates to real estate. and he said that if there's a real estate deal that's like less than $10 million to purchase, or in value, or whatever, it's like assessed for less, no parts of it. So he only wants tens, right? So that actually made me realize, holy crap, what if I only focus on those real, like those hot 8s, 9s, and 10s, talk about objectifying women. But if you were to do the same, you'll see astronomical growth in the quality of leads, in the quality of company you keep, and potential profit as well, whether it's for rentals, or flips, wholesale, so on and so forth. Which actually leads me to number 2, where you mentioned, well, what kind of company are you keeping as well? And I noticed a pattern where it seems like all the heavy hitters, all those people at those seminars that you go to that have these like yellow name badges and they're hanging out in the back and they're all laughing, not paying attention. Well, they're probably doing way better than you. No disrespect meant, right? But people hang out with people that they identify with the most. And again, the sum of the people who you're with, it actually correlates again to real estate. So if you're someone that's really struggling and you're always like, oh, where do contracts come from? And oh man, how do I get to this contract? And what do numbers look like in wholesale? And you're hanging out with other people just like that, and they're making bo diddly squat, chances are you're not too far off. Now, when I made that shift in who I wanted to network with, like drive out to meet with them and spend a day with them, etc., 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 guess what happened? Like, I started to get like possibilities float my way that I never had before. I was like, wait a minute, this is amazing. So there's that trickle down effect. It kind of happens, not to make it presidential, like economical, political, no. But it seems that, I mean, that shift in energy, all that energy there, all you got to do is go right here and get you some of that energy for yourself. And that's exactly what I did. Okay? So that was a major aha, whereas, all right, so if I'm only hanging out with people who are straight up doing 7 figures and even 8 figures, guess what? Maybe it'll rub off on me because now they'll share their brain power and I'm also like tapping into their network too. Only with the cool people. I know not everyone is like super cool, right. But just don't try to pick their brain or expect for them to handhold you all the time, okay? The other thing that got me from the same guy, he asked me like, what was I doing? And he was like, great, you should do more of that. So for the question about how to scale, well, what kind of success have you been having? All right, does it feel like you can do it like with your hands tied behind your back, you still get some kind of fun out of it, yeah? Or are you making pretty good money from it, yeah? Keep doing that.
Do more of that.
And when I wanted to know what his secret was, he was like, Chris, there's really no secret system. I do XYZ, I do ABC, I do DEF, and the money. It's like so many people want to make it more complicated than what it is. I've done that so much. I know you two probably have.
Yeah.
If the three of us have, I guarantee you probably are right now or have at some point in the past or maybe will in the present. So what's working, do that. Chris, like you're doing these dollar holler deals, right? All right, well, do 2, do 3, and keep them for yourself. This is, I mean, like what wealth, what legacy are you really built? I was like, you see what had happened was
Right.
he got me. Fourth and final aha moment. Aha is in realizing that my team is already there. So we're scared about doing things on our own. Like I know you had some question about like how do I hire? This is marketing and someone to do sales for me and someone to close for me. And then the real. You've probably been in a scenario in which you were in a room full of people and you asked for a pen. Like, does anyone have a pen? And then you see 3 people from 6 just start doing that. It really is as simple as that, if you at least believe it. And I realized that, even for private money, I was like, man, if I only had private money access, and a guy who could also take care of the property management, I was like, hello, stupid, I'm right here. I was like, oh. And he said, Chris, the team is already there. It's already set. And I thought about it, and I was like, man, you're right. I don't have to reinvent the wheel. And that's the beauty with the previous videos that we made about wholesaling. You said that what's great with starting in with wholesaling, you build your network and you learn marketing, all this other stuff. And that's what actually I fell into. I was like, whoa, the power of my own network. If I say, man, I need some money. Okay, I got money, Chris. Or, hey, I need a deal to sell. Yeah, Chris, I got some. Oh. So whatever you feel that you're falling short in, whether it's property management, lead generation, whether it's online, offline, whatever the case may be, you just got to be that person who's asking for a pen or who asks for a stick of gum. Or if you're at a 9 to 5, you've seen that guy who goes out and is like, hey man, but you got a cigarette? Ooh, it's so cool. I don't condone smoking, by the way, but you've seen that, right? And then they're like, okay, thank you. Do the same thing for private money or for deals or for whatever else, and you get it. Aha.
So yeah, you hit it on the head again. Like we mentioned before, is once you get into this thing, the people in your life will just start appearing. You'll just meet people that are on the level that you need to be at. So it's amazing how it works. We were around, people that are doing 6 figures a month in wholesaling, and just the energy that came out of that room, we walked out of there electrified. We were ready to take on the world. So if you're around people that are moping around and they're scraping by, that's going to be what your energy is. That's going to be the energy you put out there. That's going to be your results. Your energy and your beliefs are your results. So whatever you believe is your reality. So if you believe that in scarcity, that's all you're going to ever see. So you got to be in the abundance mindset. I know you guys, you hear about mindset all the time, and it's one of those things this stuff again. This is for real. If you're in a scarcity mindset, every result around you is going to be scarce. Everything. So you gotta get out of that. You gotta get away from the negative people. Good vibes always. I'm telling you, it's a mindset. It's a philosophy. You gotta clear that negative energy away from you. Good vibes is not just a catchy name. It's a way of being. And if you're not doing that, then everything else is just going to be in a rut. And once you're in a rut, if somebody is in a rut with you and you're in it together, you're not getting out. It's like 2 crackheads. It's like 2 crackheads. Yeah. Seriously,
it's like crack, guys.
They're great
the crackhead
together.
Example.
They're
just
we have to go there. There's 2 crackheads together. They're never going to get.
It's like Bobby and Whitney,
And that's what came to my mind. No, seriously.
Too soon.
No, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
And once they get away from each other, one of them can do better. So that's how you got to look at it. It's your surroundings. So if you're around negative people, say no to negativity. You got to get rid of that crap. So cool. Now, I hope this was beneficial to you. I know we didn't talk about anything technical in this video, but mindset is the catalyst of everything. If you guys are in a negative state of mind, you got to change that immediately.
So just to expand on that a little bit, you could probably Google it and YouTube it, and but they talk about be, do, have, right? It's not about what you're going to do in order to have. It's what you're going to be. Who are you going to be?
Who are you going to be?
Right. So
who you have to become.
Who you have to become. Right. So it's like, who do I have to become in order to get to this result? Right. And so I guess what I'm getting at is that's a question you can ask yourself. Like Chris was talking about, if you're that person, like, oh my gosh, how much are the repairs? How much do I need to offer? Am I going to be able to sell it? And like living in that, who are you being? Right. So you ask yourself, who am I being right now? When you're stuck, who am I being? And then you think about the person that exemplifies the result that you want, and how would they be in the same situation, right? And so just ask yourself.
The shift is great. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, but like the shift, and at a Tony Robbins event, it was like a shift in like either belief or like in something that you're doing, like your physiological state. Yeah. Like something has to like immediately shift and change.
Yeah.
And
so
it's powerful. It really is.
Yeah.
And sometimes even with my kids, I see it, and I get them to repeat after me.
Yeah.
And sometimes initially it's hard for them to say it because they're not feeling it, they're not being it, right?
Yeah.
But then they start saying it, and it kind of starts to change things a little bit. So, consider when you're stuck, when you can't figure out to get past where you are, and when you need to move on to the next level.
Yeah.
Who am I being, and who do I have to be to get the result I want?
Cool. Last thing, if possible.
Go ahead.
Do we have enough time?
Great.
Do we have enough time?
We have enough time. I think the sun is starting to fall down. Yeah. Listen, please rewind and listen 2 more times to what Steven said. You are already enough. You have to understand right now, you are already enough. And you've probably seen hundreds of YouTube videos by now. And you're like, no, but I need more. No. You're enough. Okay? If you can solve whatever dilemma, problem, crisis, all right, all you have to do is figure out how that same problem exists in the industry of real estate and provide a solution. And then you get paid. You don't need to read every book, hang it on the shelves of Barnes & Noble, or listen to every podcast, or watch every YouTube video imaginable. No, like with what you know right now, like even before like any kind of training from whomever, you actually have it within you right now. So I want to implore that you stop putting other people on high pedestals. No diss to Sean Terry, who inspired you, but these big Dean Graziosis of the world, and the Sean Terrys of the world, and the Robert Kiyosaki's of the world, stop putting them on pedestals. Put yourself on one. Worry about putting yourself on your own high pedestal, okay? And make sure that, again, rewatch what Steven said. You got to love you some you, and it makes a world of difference. I mean, there's folks here who have, like I hear one guy out there, and I know there's another, they have bigger portfolios than me in real estate, but I know that I drip in swag crazy. Like I know I'm not far off from that.
Right.
I just know that I'm the man. You're probably the man. You're the man or the woman too. So love you some you. Put yourself on your own pedestal and rewatch again what Steven said, which was brilliant.
Cool. Thank you again, everybody, for tuning in.
Yeah.
Hit us up, questions@goodvibesre.com, and the Facebook group. Join us on the Facebook group. We want to have a conversation with you. Get in the Facebook group is easy. You click the link below. You put in your email. You're also going to get access to our contract templates. So check that out. And until next week,
good vibes always.
Hi, Mom and Dad.
Take care, guys.